Hi, I'm Mark Fulton with Sysdig Customer Success. This is the third of a 5-part series of videos on alerts in Sysdig Monitor. In this video, we'll be looking at how we can create alerts from events. Going into the events feature of Sysdig Monitor allows us to get a menu, get a listing of all different types of events, whether they're sourced from alerts, whether they're sourced from Docker containers, or whether they're sourced from the Kubernetes container platform. We can also source events from the API, known as custom events. We do have another series of videos that cover events in detail, so we won't be going through and exploring the events feature, but during the scope of this video, we'll be looking on how we can create alerts from events simply in the Sysdig Monitor UI. So first of all, we need to identify the event that we want to alert against. That is, should future or additional occurrences of said event occur, then we want to receive an alert. So here we have some examples coming in from Kubernetes, the container platform, as well as Docker itself that we may want to be notified against. Looking at this container unhealthy example, you can see a few different pieces defined here in the event. We can see the Kubernetes namespace and the pod that triggered the event, as well as a description. So let's say we want to define an alert for this particular event for future occurrences. How do we go about doing that? Click the Create Alert from Event button underneath the description, and then you'll see some different parameters predefined for you. Now note that Section 1A, the definition part of the alert, count events that match. This is something that you'll need to fill yourself. So let's go ahead and start filling this. We need to fill in a search term or term for the name tag or description of the event. So in this case, we want to look for container unhealthy. And as you type it in, you can see a preview based on historic alerts that occurred which match all of these criteria. Now, bear in mind, you could also look for the description. So you could also type in liveness probe failed. Again, this is the data that's coming to us straight from Kubernetes. Or you could also, search by tags if you wanted as well. And then this is also another option to specify a source tag underneath here if you wish to do so. So you can limit the scope of these to, say, Kubernetes. Again, the idea is just to reduce any false positive alerts coming through here if it's required. The next step, you'll see the scope is pre-populated with the namespace and pod from the alert that we selected in the events feed. Now, we may wish in this case to have this alert apply not just to this particular pod in the namespace. So we'll go ahead and remove that. And now we are going to get alerted anytime we have a container unhealthy event within this Kubernetes namespace. Again, plenty of flexibility available in Sysdig to select either a different namespace or to specify multiple namespaces here if we wish. We could also specify clusters or cluster nodes or anything else that any other label or entity label that's made available in Sysdig Monitor. Now the trigger. So by default, we'll alert anytime any one single event happens, right? One particular option that we could do though is define a time threshold. So if we only want to receive an alert after a specific number of alerts or events have occurred within a time period, we can go ahead and set that up here. And then second, you would define your notification channel that we're going to look at in a later video. So this was from a high level how we can define alerts based on existing events in our environment to be alerted against occurrences of future events. Thanks for watching.